Hi, my name is Trinity Goodlet, and this is my informative speech on how tattoos are a permanent biological factor. In my audience today, we have Abilee Dalton, Benjamin Aiton, Edwin Martinez, and Vanessa Loxton. Have you ever wondered why you have permanent tattoos even though your skin is constantly shedding and renewing? Well, within this speech, you will find out exactly why. Today, we will be talking about how tattoos are applied, the body's immune system response, and why tattoos fade but do not disappear. But first, we're going to talk a little bit of statistics behind tattoos of America. In America, 32% of Americans have tattoos. That is roughly 107 million people. In this audience, who has a tattoo? That is already 50% of the guest audience today. That is not including myself, who also has a tattoo. Within the concept of how they are applied, there is a small needle with ink on the tip of it that continuously punctures the skin. In doing so, it goes through the first layer of skin and goes to the dermis. The first layer of skin is the layer that constantly sheds and renews itself. However, the second layer is deeper within and has more of an immune system and cells. The body's immune system response to it, for an object entering its atmosphere, is quite simple. There are macrophalanges that continuously capture the ink and fight it and kill it. However, the ink, if it is too big, will kill the macrophalanges instead. In doing so, it creates a cycle in which the ink is constantly killing it, and there's more macrophalanges coming and trapping it to try and kill it itself. That causes for the ink to continuously be present there in the skin and not die. Tattoos fade, however, they do not disappear because the endless cycle between the macrophalanges and the ink itself. However, if there was a tattoo removal process such as laser removal, which is one of the only ways you can get rid of a tattoo, it goes in there and it slowly breaks down the ink in order to cause it to become smaller, so that way the macrophalanges can then capture it and kill it. But since the macrophalanges aren't big enough to just kill it, they capture it instead. When it does so, it kills small parts of it slowly. That is why it fades into more of a light color. Say if you have black, it fades to a gray, instead of just completely disappearing. Now, we can talk about the many different tattoos you can get, the bold ones, the fine lines. However, when every tattoo you get, you need to know the information behind it, the statistics, everything of the sorts, because a tattoo is a dedication. It's an expression of art in many different ways and forms. It's biology and art mixed together. Knowing the biology behind it will help you make a better decision. One of the tattoos I have is this one. It took me an hour to do, and it was done in a sterile field. With this one, a needle with ink punctured my skin. It went deep enough to get the dermis, and my macrophalanges in my body's immune system is constantly trapping it and causing it to stay there. I've had this tattoo for almost a year now. Reasons why you should always be informed before making a decision, especially regarding tattoos because they are permanent, is because you don't want to end up as a contestant on how far is tattoo far, which they consistently regret. 1 in 4 people with tattoos regret them. If you regret a tattoo in this room, raise your hand. That is 1 in 3. While there's not 4, that's still a pretty good statistic to know. You would rather be on Ink Master, which is where it's a biological and artistic form. Every tattoo you get should be dedication and absolute passion. Now that you've heard those main points, we're going to talk a little bit about them once more. You get a tattoo, it continuously punctures your skin and goes into the second layer, the dermis. Your macrophalanges are not strong enough to kill them, so it continuously traps it, and it creates a cycle. They do not fade because the macrophalanges are not big enough, and the cycle is endless. They do not completely disappear ever, but they will get lighter over time because eventually small parts of the ink begin to break down. Overall, this is a very informative way to know if you should get a tattoo or not. Thank you for listening, and before you leave, always think, is this tattoo worth it, and would my body be able to handle it? Because the biology behind it is very important to know.